Developed by Virtual Basement and Code Headquarters and published by Virtual Basement, it's The Mean Greens, Plastic Warfare, released in late 2015 for the PC, with a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One release planned, but with no announcement quite yet as of this recording. What you're currently seeing is the PC version, obviously, running at max settings. I'll have my computer specs down below in the description if you're interested. I was running this game at an average of roughly 30 to 60 FPS depending on the map, usually staying consistent to give you an idea. But anyways, Plastic Warfare is not your standard third-person shooter. The game is purely multiplayer based, so sadly there isn't any single player or campaign mode to be found. You either create or pick a lobby, pick a side, either green or tan, you vote for a map, and the greatest war of our time begins. The fight for green or tan supremacy. The game overall, as of this recording, currently only has 10 maps. Each map having its own specific game mode assigned to it, ranging from capture the flag in a fish tank, to defending cookies on a train going around a Christmas tree, to my personal favorite, 2 teams attempting to thaw out their toy dinosaurs first in a freezer with flamethrowers. Each game mode and map consists of teams of 5 versus 5. There is no specific classes or anything like that. You basically spawn in with 5 weapons at your disposal, your standard rifle, shotgun, sniper rifle, missile launcher, and flamethrower. Each with a set amount of ammo that will replenish with a cooldown effect once used up. But is the Mean Greens Plastic Warfare any good? Let's find out with the good. Probably the best part about Plastic Warfare is easily the map designs and concept of the game itself. Heavily reminding me of games from years past such as the Army Men series and Toy Commander on the Sega Dreamcast. Plastic Warfare's maps are absolutely fantastic, unique, and a joy to explore. But not only that, the game modes that accompany them are just as creative. Everything from trying to capture your enemy's flags on rubber ducks in a bathtub, to lighting more candles than the opposing team for a birthday cake, to, as I mentioned earlier, trying to thaw out a plastic dinosaur, all while still including classic game modes you'd expect, such as capture the flag, but however now in a fish tank, to your classic deathmatch mode, but now set up on a game board originally meant for dice rolling plastic army men, to plenty more. The variety of the maps and the game modes in this game are absolutely fantastic. The gameplay overall is simple enough to pick up and play straight from the start, without much of a learning curve to it. Now, I don't expect this game to attempt to become an esport or anything like that, but the gameplay itself is effective, although simple. Each weapon you're equipped with all have their uses and right times to utilize them. None of them I ever felt were overpowered or unbalanced, which for a new release title is a pretty good feat to achieve. And depending on how well your team works together, you can easily dominate the match if the other team is just focused on thinking it's nothing but a deathmatch mode. Now, graphically, Plastic Warfare looks absolutely fantastic. Running on the Unreal 4 engine, the texture work in the environments across the 10 maps looks great. Not to mention all while running extremely smooth even on a mid-tier computer like mine. The environments are bright and colorful, as well as with tons of attention to detail and great ideas for the map designs. The character models of the army men stand out enough to spot and shoot them as well, and the animations are passable, but overall the game simply looks and runs great. The soundtrack as well is pretty good. Each map has its own specific theme, most of which are pretty decent. But I personally hated the birthday cake map soundtrack after about 30 seconds of hearing it. But overall, the soundtrack is pretty great and it serves its purpose for each map. But now let's go into what's not so great with the game, with the bad. During my 3 to 4 hours or so I spent with the Mean Greens, probably my biggest issue with it is simply the matchmaking was a bit of a pain in the ass. Not to mention a few connection issues. Trying to actually find a game for me personally at times was a bit of a mess. Probably because it was the weekend, I'm not sure, but I had a number of host was lost connecting issues and was booted back to the main menu more times than I can count after failing to connect. So then I had to go back into the server list again and wait some more while it refreshed again, which became a tad bit annoying. Then throw in the matchmaking issues and trying to actually play with my friend, it just added to the annoyance of it all. The Steam overlay wouldn't want to work for either one of us, so we had to alt-tab out of our respective games to accept each other's invites, and even then the game had trouble even finding any matches for us once we'd get the party system actually going. which more or less forced us to simply create our own lobby and server, and then wait on other players instead. But honestly, that's probably one of the only major complaints I have with this game, and I'm sure it'll be fixed with future updates. Or at least here's hoping, as this is a game I could easily see myself playing some more of in the future. My next issue, much more minor and more opinionated, I felt some of the maps could have benefited with some higher player counts than 5 versus 5, as there were the odd time I had a hard time even finding people on some of the larger, more deathmatch focused maps, but I'm sure with modding from the community and future updates this will also change. Now graphically, I only had the odd stutter or weird frame rate inconsistency here and there, but that's more than likely due to my mid-tier computer setup at the moment. However, I did notice despite running on max settings, the game still did suffer from some minor pop-in issues here and there when the maps first loaded in. But now it's time for the opinion. Now, if you're like me and you stumbled onto this game on the front page of Steam, it probably caught your eye. It sure did for me, and I can definitely recommend this to anyone who might be interested. The gameplay is fast-paced, simple yet effective, and fun. The maps and game modes are gorgeous looking and unique, and if you got some friends looking for a game to play over the next weekend or two, this wouldn't be a bad choice, and for only $10, it's fair on the price. I personally had a ton of fun during my roughly 4 hours with it, and I couldn't recommend it enough. Hopefully the matchmaking gets improved with future patches. If that's the case, then I can definitely see myself playing this more in the future. But with all that being said, now it's time for my rating. I give this
I do so love the smell of burnt plastic in the morning.
out of 10.